Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Money Zone. I'm your host, Falashade, the Accountability Accountant, guys, and I am just so excited and so blessed to be with you guys on this amazing Tuesday. Guys, we have the most infamous financial financial planner in the building, Jayson Thorton, better known as JT, Pocket Watching with JT. He's coming on the Money Zone with us today, guys. So we're going to talk about why tax planning and financial planning is essential. And you guys know how I am. I can't have JT on the show without asking some of the questions that you guys know that you guys want me to ask. A little bit about Pocket Watching with JT and things of that nature. So guys, if I were you, I would definitely share this video with your friends, with your colleagues. Say Falashade and JT about to drop some gems, and grab your pen and your paper. If you guys are watching us on any social media platform, please share with your friends. If you're watching us on YouTube, share. And if you're watching me on Instagram, remember you cannot see my screen. So you may want to head over to YouTube or my social media platform so you can kind of see us. So guys, I'm so excited, and per usual, what we're going to do, we're going to take a few minutes break. Yeah, and then we're going to rock it out with JT. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to the Money Zone. I'm your host, Falashade, the Accountability Accountant. And guys, as I said in my intro, we got the infamous financial planner, JT, of Pocket Watching with JT, and Thorton Advisory Services in the building, guys. So if you've never heard of JT, his real name is Jayson Thorton. He's a certified financial planner. He's CFP, which is a financial advisor specializing in tax and financial planning. He is a certified financial planner, licensed as a tax advisor and investment advisor. Jayson also hosts a popular finance YouTube channel, Pocket Watcher with JT. They have over 50-something thousand subscribers. I'm a subscriber, guys. And basically, JT serves individuals and small businesses. He handled tax compliance cases, wealth management, tax preparation, IRS tax debt settlements, and he helped his clients meet their financial goals. JT earned his bachelor's degree from Missouri Valley College, cum laude. Guys, I'm not part of that, all of that. JT takes great pride in representing clients before the government to resolve tax issues, including audits, collections, and appeals. He has been recognized by the U.S. Department of Treasury for his outstanding contributions in the tax consulting realm. At St. Louis, a St. Louis native, Jayson graduated from Montclair North High School in 2002. He strives to stay active in the community and service. He strives to stay active in community service. He is a member of the National Association of Black Accountants, and he's a member of Phi Beta Sigma. Guys, help me welcome Jayson Thorton, better known as Pocket Watcher with JT, on the Money Zone.
Listen, thank you. Thank you for the invite. I'm excited. Let's get going.
Let's rock this thing out. Thank you for your patience today. My producers and stuff never are tardy. So yeah, thank you for your grace this evening.
We're good. We're good. Let's do it.
I'm so excited. So let's rock this thing out. So today's topic is about why financial planning, tax planning is key. And it seemed like me and you both are out here really trying to help our community. So the first question I want to ask you, how did you get started in the financial services industry?
Okay, great question. So my journey in finance started when I was 9 years old, right? So I am the son of business owners, small business owners. And if anyone knows what the life is like for a small business family, everyone plays a role, right? That's the number one source of employees and the workforce for a small business is normally going to be your family. So since the age of 9, my father put me in a position to basically be a bookkeeper for his business. And ever since that moment, I've been someone that's been involved in numbers. And that role of being the bookkeeper in my father's business since 9 has just expanded as I got older and older. And I went to college and graduated with degrees and things like that. My role expanded to now being a financial advisor, a certified financial planner. But it all started back when I was 9 years old, just keeping track of the cash box for my father's business. Yeah.
Wow. No, that is really good. So that, most of us kind of gotten started early on in the business. So now your father was in it. Because back in the day, because my father's an accountant as well, they don't do business the way that we do business now. So what kind of pushed you to do something slightly different than how they're doing things back in the day?
Well, I mean, my father, the business is a scrap metal recycling company, right? So with scrap metal recycling, you are buying metal from the public. We're talking about things as small as a soda can and as big as a truck, right? And it was my job to, keep track of the cash box, keep track of stuff coming in and going out. And I was always placed to be someone to advise my father and let him know what is going on. How much money do we have left? How much did we buy in aluminum cans? How much did we buy in number 1 copper, number 2 copper? Stuff like that I had to keep track of. And because I was born in the 80s, I tried to figure out a way to finesse my father into giving me a computer. I was like, listen, hey, if I had a computer, I'd be able to do stuff, this, that, and other. And he was like, okay, we'll do that. I just wanted to play number munchers. Right. I was just trying to play games on the computer, but he called my bluff. He got the computer and he was like, okay, now I want reports. I don't want something just written down on a piece of paper. Give me reports. So I've been able to grow as technology has grown. So whenever something new would come out to help in the world of finance, when it comes to computers, I've been on top of it since I was 9 years old.
Wow.
So now with the way that, business flows now, anytime something comes out, a new spreadsheet type of software, something comes out, I'm on top of it the second it comes out, and I'm able to adapt and be in a position where now, just about 30 minutes ago, I just got done working with a client who I've never met in person because they live in another state. They live in the other side of the country, but I'm still able to service them because I'm very agile when it comes to using technology.
Oh, I love it. And see, right now, technology is the wave. So I'm going to transition a little bit. So now your dad started you off. He started off in his business, helping him do his accounting. You graduated. And then how did you start with Thornton with your business? How did you get the business started? Where did that come from?
All right. So I graduated in 2006. Okay. So 2006, you only got a couple of years before we hit the Great Recession.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It wasn't that big of a deal because I was working for my father, right? So regardless, I was going to have a job. Now, how much I was going to get paid, it was going to be variable based on the economy, but I was not going to go without a job as long as my father's company was still around, right? But, as the economy started doing better, as my position started to grow, what ultimately happened was my father got audited by the IRS. They were auditing a couple of tax returns that were prepared and filed by his former accountant before I came into the picture. And they ultimately stuck him with a tax bill that was over $500,000.
Wow.
Right. And people complain about, oh man, I had to pay the IRS $10,000. I had to pay the IRS, $20,000 or $30,000. You don't know real smoke from the IRS until you get hit with, a bill that's almost over $500,000. Then you really know what that smoke is like. So ultimately, because I'm my father's advisor, and at the time, of course, I already was enrolled as an enrolled agent with the IRS to represent anybody, but especially I'm going to represent my father. I went back and forth with the IRS for almost about a year. It felt like it was about a year of me going back and forth with them, trying to get that bill down. And ultimately, here's the real thing here. Ultimately, I was able to get that tax bill settled for less than $5,000.
Oh,
we started out at over $500,000, and we ended up settling it for less than $5,000. That was the real, breaking point when it came to me, one, understanding my value.
Yep.
Right now I got a very clear view of the value that my skill set brings to the marketplace. So now I know that, hold on, 500,000, 5,000, I'm worth a little bit. Right? I see my worth. So that's one thing. The other part of that is my father has built business relationships in this St. Louis metro area for decades, right? For decades. So when I ended up winning that case for him and settling it for him, he's telling all of his friends. All of his friends are small business owners. So immediately I started to receive calls and interest for me to also work for other people outside of my father. And that's really when Thornton Advisor Group was born, because now I have all this inflow of potential clients that's more than just my father. So that's really where it started.
I love this, JT. So you always be. I watch, I'm subscribed. You get a little long with it now. I only got about. I gotta get to the juice. The people want the juice.
Let's do it.
You brown, we brown. We're in the community. Where do you think we go wrong with this concept of financial planning?
Oh man, it's a two-sided coin. One of the biggest issues that I see where we go wrong is that we have the wrong concept of who needs financial planning. A lot of people believe that, that's something that rich folks do. Rich folks need a financial planner. Rich folks need financial advice. I'm barely getting by. I don't have the time or the money to get a financial planner. Well, you may not have the time and the money to hire a certified financial planner, but financial planning has to be a part of your life, regardless of the amount of money that you make. You need a financial plan if you're making $18,000 a year, or if you're making $18 million a year. You need a financial plan. Otherwise, you have no idea where your money is going. And if you have no idea where your money is going, you don't have the ability to direct that cash to help you actually build wealth. So that's that side of it.
Yeah, love it.
The other side of it is there's so many grifters in the community who put on the costume of I'm a financial expert, and they're basically giving scammer advice. So they don't know what to do. The second they realize, oh, I do need to get some financial information, I do need to create a financial plan, they end up getting suckered by some financial expert, and then they ultimately end up in a worse place than they were before they started. So that's the two sides of the coin where I say that people have to navigate all this BS just to get good financial advice.
You know why I'm laughing, JT? Because when you came on the scene, so I started this, what you doing right now in the accountants, I started that in 2015, right? But I'm a female, and I was telling my PR, I was telling my publishers, change when you working with. I was like, Chad, I don't think I can do this. These people might come beat me up. So she has sent me the last post, I think it was Jay Boyce and Dana, that when they both was having issues at that time. And she was like, Flash Day, go ahead on and talk about that. She sent me screenshots like we normally do. I'm like, Chad, I don't think I can handle this no more. And I don't want to do this. And then all of a sudden, like 3 months later, you came out. I was like, okay, Chad, man, I'm glad somebody else can do the work because I can't handle it. It was just too much. We were getting not like death threats or anything because they know I'm a little hood JT, so they ain't coming out. But I know eventually somebody would have tried me. So I do appreciate the fact that you are bringing awareness to that because I see it. Like I started really pushing out that scammer approach was when in my clients' bookkeeping, I saw them paying $50, $60, $70 to $100,000 in 1 year, JT, with no income. I said, nah. One client, it was about 4 clients with the same people, and I was like, "Oh no, right? I'm fed. I'm fed." Now I curse. Right? Like this, and then that's when I just started popping off because I saw this client struggling to get footing, and it was just like debt over her head, and they had her caught up in when you had to make payments to a third party. What they say? I don't know what high funded loan or something. I can't even think of what the word was. They ended up paying a risky loan company to fund the product. It was just a mess. So I commend you on that, but it's a lot. So I love the fact that you said number one, which is the concept of us understanding that I don't care how much money we have, we still need a financial plan. And I've been trying to beat that down to us for years. So I'm just so glad that you're doing it for the financial side because I always say you need an accountant. Yep. You need an accountant because we always perceive that you had to be rich to have an accountant. So guys, me and JT to debunk that you guys need a financial advisor. You guys need your accountant. I don't care. And like he said on the financial side, I don't care if you make $18,000. I don't care if your business make $18,000. You still need your bookkeeping done. You still need, you don't hire a bookkeeper. You still need your bookkeeping done. You still need those things. So I do appreciate that. With the scammer part, I also appreciate that because you took the burden off my back. You took the burden off my back, and my audience loved it. I knew I could have blew up with it. You know what I mean? But I just couldn't. I can't be fighting. Okay, so then you're seeing that. So all right, so you started off with pocket watching. Do the clients end up telling you the emotional? Because see, guys, when you get taken advantage of, it's not only a financial impact, it's an emotional impact. I've seen clients never recover from those type of circumstances that they were in, overpaying and getting ripped off. Have you seen most of our people not be able to bounce back, or have you seen them get it going and keep moving after they've been scammed?
It's tough. I want to say a majority of the time it's extremely tough for them to bounce back. And then there's a long list of unreported victims, because you got becoming a victim of a scammer is different from being a victim of a violent crime, right? If someone assaults you, right, for the most part, you're willing to say, hey, this guy beat me up, right? This guy strong-armed me and took my stuff. They stuck me up with a gun and they took my money. You're willing to come forward and admit that. But when someone finesses you out your money, and it's not just our community. It's regardless of color. People normally have this same reaction. They don't want people to know they got.
Yeah.
They don't want people to know that they got. So they take it on the chin and they keep moving. And that's one of the things that allows the scammer to keep going, because of the shame of the victim who's not willing to let everyone know that they got, scammed out of money. The perpetrator is allowed to keep going. I mean, generally, the way pocket watching with JT actually just had its birth came from the fact that I have clients in the real world, like you. I have real world clients, and they would send me these video clips, these TikToks.
Did you get one of me yet? Did you get one of me yet, JT?
No. So they'll send me these clips and they'll be like, hey, JT, take a look at this. This looks good. This is something that maybe we should do this. And I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, 90% of it is illogical and another 10% of it is illegal. So I've got to spend time to explain to a client why we shouldn't do this thing that this financial expert online is telling them to do, because it just doesn't make fiscal sense. And I try to explain to them the reason why this person is advocating this. One, they're uneducated in finance. They don't know what they're talking about. They got this from another person, or this is just something that they did, and they think that it works just because it's something they did, but they don't understand how it impacts people differently based on their financial situations. And then another part of it is like, this guy is a scammer. He doesn't do this. He's telling you to do this, but he doesn't do this clearly. So a point came where I said, man, I think this would be actually good content to put online, because one, I'm already billing that client the billable hour to take my time to do this. So the research has been done and paid for. Anything that I would get online by making a video is just gravy on the top, because I've already done the research. Now, did I know it would get to the point where I think today we just crossed over the 57,000 subscribers, and it's been like a year, right? I started about a year ago. So 57,000 subs in a year is pretty good. So I never imagined it would grow the way that it did, but it goes to show you that every great business idea is born out of trying to create a solution to a problem in the marketplace.
Yes.
Right? The problem in the marketplace that you before me, but you and I both saw, is that there's bad financial advice in social media, in the community. There are sources of people, right? There's a group of people who are giving the everyday black man, woman, whoever, bad financial advice. How do we solve that problem? And I feel like we've tapped into that.
I think honestly, I'm gonna be truthful, because I was the first accountant that did. I don't know if you ever Googled me or whatever. I was the first accountant that was doing this live stream, all of this stuff. I stopped live streaming for about a good 2 years over the past. And that's when all of them got popular, real popular. Because I used to pop off. Ask my audience, I used to pop off. Y'all get scammed, like, because I'm so ratchet, JT, right? I pop off. Y'all scams, everything that you say, but I said a little bit ratchet, a little bit loud and stuff. And it seemed like, to be truthful, when I stopped going live, that's when all of them got rich and very popular.
That's when they got,
because nobody was really watching them. Ask my team. Right. I just thought, I just wasn't interested. And then also what turned me off was that after I put out like Hire Your Child, did like my masterclass Hire Your Child like 2.5 years ago, and everybody took all my content, they convoluted and made it into like a scam. Oh, hire your child without a W-2. What the?
Right.
Just take money off the books and no paperwork, no W-2. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Hire your child for your non-existent business, right? There's a difference between what we refer to as income shifting, right? Yes. So in financial planning, we just refer to it as income shifting. You've got a small business. You have children who work within the business. You can pay them up to whatever the standard deduction is. You're shifting income from yourself to the child. That is perfectly legal. But that all is based on the fact that you, one, have a legitimate business to start with. You don't just
job description, a little legitimate job, and everything else. And to a lot of people, I say you don't need paperwork, and you do. You cannot just pay your child $12,000 with no W-2, no 1099. It's not possible. So that turned me off, and seeing that, I was like. And then my team would be sending me stuff. I'm like, y'all forgot I created all this shit. Like, come on, that's not sending me stuff. Like, it makes me sick. So, in terms of that, let's shift a little bit. So, How will we feel? Do you feel as though if you don't put out the information from the scammers and what your audience send you, that we won't be able to serve our community won't be able to achieve generational wealth? Or do you think that by you putting out Pocket Watching with JT, that as long as you do what you're doing, we are protecting our community? How do you feel?
Man, that's see, the second someone says generational wealth now, that's almost like a trigger word for me.
Don't do that, JT. Don't do that. My trade is affiliation, the accountability account. I help you save money, build a profitable, scalable, sustainable business that build generational wealth.
They hijacked your term, because now that's the number one thing that these scammers are going to use. They're going to talk about generational wealth. I'm going to help you get generational wealth. And the very first thing I do now, I just do an eye roll, because I'm like, dude, how are you talking about generational wealth? You just got money like 2 months ago. You haven't passed it down to the next generation. How are you teaching someone to do something that you've never done? Well, okay. Personally, what I feel like, I feel like I've got a water gun and I'm trying to put out a fire, right? Yeah, okay. My content is helpful for those who are willing to see it. And one of the things that I love is that when someone will make a comment either on Instagram or on YouTube, they'll say, "Hey, JT, when I first saw your first couple of videos, I thought you was a hater. I thought you were a clown, you were a hater, you were jealous of these people. I watched a couple more videos and I realized, yeah, they're basically promoting fraud. So I appreciate it. Thank you." But that's one of the greatest things I can get, because that's rare, to get someone who's actually willing to look at information, see that it's factual, and then allow to say, okay, I'm going to change my mind because the facts dictate that I should change my mind. So you can do that when you're not hypocritical. Yeah. See, when you're hypocritical, it doesn't matter what the facts are. You're going to stay on your point because the facts never mattered in the beginning. It was all based on emotion. So with my content, I mean, I do see a growing of, we have 57,000, right? There's a growing of people who are willing to say, you know what? That lifestyle that these online gurus are promoting, it looks attractive. That is something that I would love to be able to pull up in a cherry red Lamborghini with expensive watches on my wrist, but that lifestyle is not actually real. It's a fake that they're presenting. I'd rather do the sensible stuff that JT is saying that makes more sense. Yes, it will take me longer, right? I actually had a guy made a comment on one of my videos and said, JT, who wants to be a millionaire when they're 65? Who wants to wait that long? What? Like literally, they say, who wants to wait till you're 60-something years old to be a multimillionaire? I'm rubbing my head. I'm like, the person who's making this comment, you most likely have a negative net worth right now. Right now, if we were to add up all your assets and add up all your debts, you probably have a negative net worth right now. And with that mentality, I could also bet you're probably going to die with a negative net worth. So don't come to me complaining about my method means that you'll be a millionaire in your 50s and 60s, as if you can't wait that long. You're probably going to die with a negative net worth. So I think my system is working better than that person's, but that's the mentality that we're fighting against, this get rich quick type of concept that never really pans out for the majority of people. Just think about the majority of people who got rich at a very young age.
Yeah, they didn't last. They're not rich. No.
Most of them, their story ends horribly.
Like I have a few clients that's very wealthy. Their children are drugs.
It doesn't work out.
It don't work out.
That's even. I'll take it to this point. I'll take it to this because you look to be in good shape, right? I'll take it to this point. People who lose weight fast doesn't work out good. It's the same concept. You get if you run up on someone and they say, "Man, I lost 50 pounds in like 2 months," you'll be morbidly obese when I see you in about a year or so, because it happened so fast. You didn't really learn the lifestyle changes to maintain that weight. It was a fad diet, and as soon as you reached your goal of whatever number on the scale you were looking for, what's going to happen? You're going to go right back to the bad habits that you had before. And it's even going to be worse because now you're going to try to overindulge to make up for the sacrifices that you made with the fad diet. It's the same thing with money.
Yeah.
If someone comes into a lot of money very fast, especially with the working for it was very little effort. Let's talk about the PPP loan scammers for a second.
Okay, I'm with you.
We had a community of PPP loan scammers. They were doing the money phone on Instagram. They were showing us the new bins that they just bought. All that they were doing. Where are they now?
I don't know, JT.
They're broke. All the. I'm not even talking about
them. I don't see none of them, and it's so interesting because I don't know if you had them reaching out to you talking about, "Oh, can you amend my tax return? Can you?" I had to turn around.
Not only were they asking me could I amend their tax returns, some people came to me and said, "Hey, can you make some bank statements for me?"
And the 941,
the 941, all of that.
Everything.
They wanted all of that. My question is, where are they now? Not just the ones who got caught. I understand the ones that got caught, all the stuff that they bought probably got took back from the government. The government took their stuff. I know that. That's clear. All the people who did not get caught yet, don't think you're off the hook. I just want to be clear. If you're looking at me right now and you're a PPP loan scammer who has not been caught yet, you're on the chopping block. They're going to get to you sooner or later. So just don't think you got away with it. But for the people who have not been caught yet, where are they? They're most likely broke again. Why? Because the money came fast. That means the money normally goes fast. Just out the water. One quick example. I did a video not too long ago on Baby Blue. So Baby Blue is one of the artists in the group Pretty Ricky.
Yeah.
This man, before he did his PPP loan scam, this man had less than $1,200 in his personal bank account.
Wow.
Okay. This is around like Mayish, right? Yeah, this is around like March, around Marchish. He gets the money, about over $1 million he puts in his personal bank account. Less than 2 full months from putting over $1 million in his personal bank account, he had $0 in his bank account. Less than 2 months later. Now,
somebody went back to do the other PPP because I read the whole.
Listen, the guy's crazy. And now some people will say, "Well, JT, he probably got the money in his business account. He just took it all out. His business account was in the negative for $600. Personal account was $0. Business account was overdrawn by $600. He had $1 million in the account less than 60 days before that. A broke person is going to be a broke person even if you give them money. That's why it's best to build your wealth over the long term so you can learn these skills to maintain the wealth.
You know what? I love that. And that goes right into, so normally I do a break and everything, but guys, do me one favor, head over to Instagram and follow JT at Pocket Watching with JT. Give me 1 second, JT. I got to go my little stuff. Head over to Instagram, guys, and follow him. And then go ahead and check out his YouTube channel. Tell him Falashade sent you. Enjoy. I watch him, guys. I'm subscribed to him. And, if I support him, y'all go ahead on and support him. And then also follow his business Instagram as well. It's Thorton. Instagram.com/Thorton Advisor. So, guys, head over there, support JT. Tell him Falashade sent you. So you guys can know what it looked like, all of the tips and tricks, how to really spot all of this mess that's out here. So, JT, let's shift a little bit because we only got a few more minutes. And guys, this is your practical, actionable steps right now. But can you tell people like 3 steps if they were confused how to get their financial plan jump started? What are the 3 easiest steps that any person can take to get their financial plan jump started?
Number one thing is a budget. If you do not have and create a budget, everything else I'm going to tell you doesn't make any sense.
Thank you.
Everything else will not be a goal that you can actually accomplish unless you first start off with a budget. That needs to be your number one thing. And here's the issue when it comes to a budget. People do not like to look at their failures, right? This is why when you're overweight, you don't like to look at yourself in the mirror before you jump in the shower or the bathtub. You just run past it because you're faced with whatever you did to yourself, and you have to figure out, okay, now I have to do something. That's what making a budget is. When you, and there's apps, nobody has an excuse not to be able to create a budget other than the fact you don't want to. Because there's apps right now that are absolutely free that you don't have to pay any money for. There are apps that you can download on your phone, link your bank account to the app, and that app will read all the transactions over the past couple of months, and it will show you exactly how much money you've been spending on food, exactly how much money you've been spending on shopping. All of that will be in a neat little report. And then what you need to do is create a budget. You need to create a budget that is going to help you build wealth. So that's number one. You got to create a budget so that there's money left at the end of the month. So number one, create a budget, see where you've been spending your money, and make the proper changes so that there's money actually left over after you spend on all your needs. Forget your wants.
I'm glad
you got to put the wants over to the side.
I'm glad you said that. And let me interrupt before you go to your number 3.
Sure.
Because some people would tell them, oh, zero out, try to spend everything. Even with businesses, oh, try to spend everything, zero out. It shouldn't be nothing left over. Guys, I don't want you to have that concept. You have to have something left over. And I have to add this in. If anybody is telling you to zero out your business profits so you cannot pay tax at the end of the year, don't believe in you thriving, because you're going to need that business income to buy homes. You're going to need that business income to get funding. You're going to need that. So do not just zero out everything. Sorry, JT, I did pop off.
No. The math doesn't even make sense with that idiotic argument that I know you run into, because I got clients too who hears this stuff. Real quick, let me show people how dumb it is in the math to zero out your income, right? Okay. Take a person who netted $10,000 in income from their business, just $10,000. If I net $10,000 and I'm in the 10% tax bracket, that will mean I've got a $1,000 tax bill, right? That's it. A $1,000 tax bill. Okay, great. Now, a scammer will say, well, how about you do this? How about you spend $1,000 on my course, write that off on your taxes, and you'll pay less. The average person would be like, okay, I'll spend $1,000 with you. I get to write that off. I get that as a write-off, and I'll pay less in tax. Here's how the math works out. You traded a $1,000 tax bill for a $1,000 expense. And what did that save you in tax? $100. Because now instead of being taxed on $10,000, which would be $1,000, you're being taxed on $9,000, which is $900. So you handed someone $1,000 to save $100 in tax. This is the
write-off.
This is what we're trying to fight with. But back to the 3 points. So point number
one. You want number one, budget.
Yeah. Point number one is budget. You have to create a budget so that there's money left over at the end of the month. Point number 2 is, okay, now what the hell are we doing with this money that I just created for my budget? Point number 2 is you need an emergency savings fund.
Yeah, perfect.
You gotta have an emergency savings fund. That is your monthly bills. When I say monthly bills, I'm talking about your necessities. I'm not talking about your restaurant budget, your date budget. No. I'm talking about food, clothing, shelter, the stuff you have to survive, right? What you're going to do is you're going to multiply that number by 3 or 6. If you only have one income in your household, meaning there's only one person making money in your house, you need 6 months of your monthly bills. In case something happens, in case you lose your job, in case you get sick, something happens, you can live for 6 months without new money coming in. Now, if there's 2 incomes, you can get away with 3 months because the likelihood of both of you losing your jobs is somewhat low. So you can get away with 3 months. So point number 2 is you have to create an emergency savings fund. Otherwise, the next points really don't make sense. Okay. So here's the next point. The point number 3 is pay down debt and invest. Okay. But it's in that order. You don't invest and then try to pay down debt. It's after I've built up my emergency savings fund, what am I doing with that extra cash that my budget's created, right? My budget created this extra cash. I started out by making an emergency savings fund. I still have this extra cash at the end of the month, but I'm at the max of my emergency savings fund. Now it's time to pay down debt. Got to get your debt down before you invest. Why? Why would I say something like this? Here's why. I don't care who you go to. You can go to Jayson Thorton, certified financial planner. You can go to Warren Buffett, or you can go to any other scammers out there who tell you they're going to make you a lot of money. Most likely, you will not be able to make money on that investment that's anywhere near the interest that you're paying on your debt. Some of you guys out here, you've got credit card debt with over 20% interest rates. There's no investment, no legitimate investment that any licensed financial advisor is going to try to opt you into that is promising 20% annual interest, right? This is not going to happen. So you got to pay that debt down first, because what that does too, when you pay off debt, what happens? That it gives you more money in your budget because that's one less bill that you're paying. So now you've got more money in your budget to do the final step, which is investing. Now I can really invest because I got the emergency savings fund. My debt is paid down. Normally, I say everything but your mortgage. If you can get down everything but your mortgage, you are in a really, really good position. Now you can go full force into investing. What should you invest in? It really depends on your situation, but in a general sense, you need to take advantage of any employer-sponsored retirement plan. We'll talk about 401k. If it's a nonprofit, 403bs. If your employer does not give you that option, you can set up an individual retirement account, an IRA, a traditional IRA, or a Roth IRA. That's a longer conversation to have, but that's basically it. Create a budget. After you create the budget, then now you got extra cash, you create an emergency savings fund. After your emergency savings fund is fully funded, now you can pay down debt, then invest. So that's my 3.
I love it, JT. I love it. Guys, look, he already said, but I've been telling y'all for years, you need that budget. It's no way around it, guys. It is the lifeblood of your business. It allows you to see what is flowing. Remember, the money is the blood, right? Your budget allows you to see the blood that's flowing, okay? And then you guys having an emergency savings funds. Right now, we need to buckle down. Remember, I told y'all, after my birthday, I'm not spending no money. So we're not spending no money. We're on a no spending bin for a while. Save, 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 save.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I agree, but disagree with you, JT.
Okay, go ahead.
Individuals that are so caught up in debt, where if they didn't start setting something to the side, it will be years and years and years gone by before they're even able to start really saving. I look at the amount of time that they're trying to retire. I also look at the amount of debt, and if it's even in the foreseeable future, some people might even, let's be realistic, might die with some of that debt because they've accumulated so much of it. Even consider, could they even pay it back? So I look at those contributing factors and I say, you know what? All right, well, now let's start putting something away, start investing, because you may not pay your debt until 10 years, and we can't afford to lose those 10 years of investing years.
No, and I understand that. And I looked at that, right? I looked at that and I thought of that psychology. Just in my practice with dealing with my clients, I try to use that as motivation.
Yeah.
Right? I try to say, hey, listen, I know you want to invest. I know you want to be able to build up a nest egg for your retirement.
Yes.
But if we aggressively attack this debt, trying to motivate them to aggressively attack that debt, you can get to investing faster. Yeah. But when it really comes down to advising someone, you've got to know what motivates them. What motivates me is going to be different than what motivates you. Yeah. So it is on a person-to-person basis.
All JT, I need to see pocket. You know, the account brain on. I need pocket. This financial plan, I need to see it. Yeah. You know, appreciate. I need this to, you know,
I understand.
Love it. JT, man, you gonna have to come back on the show one time, especially, you know, don't forget about the little people now. Okay?
Stop it.
But no, I'm just so excited to really see that you are making impact, because we do need to put out there what scams look like, how people need to stay away from, because what glitters, guys, is not always gold, okay? And I don't want you guys to fall in the trap. The second thing before we leave out, JT, they think that you picking on certain people. So can you find some other people to pick on now? Like, because, you know, truth be told, I'm like the middle person where I see the good and the bad and everything, right?
Right.
And I see the good, the enormous amount of good that they're doing. And I see the little sprinkles of dirt. You know what I mean? I see it. You know, I'm a hoover. I see it, right?
Right.
But I ain't going to be out there putting it out there knowingly that it's 90% of the people are excelling.
Right.
You know? So I think,
and I get the point.
Keep doing what you're doing, but some people are really changing people's lives. Like, I'm not going to drop no name or whatever out there.
No, here's my mindset.
With nobody.
Here's my mindset on that. I don't personally feel like I'm picking on anybody. Right?
Well, my content. This is the best. Listen, go. I may have to have you on our YouTube show. I know you're kind of much big, but yes.
But no, just to summarize.
Okay, 1 minute, Brian. 1 minute.
Right. So this is normally what happens. People send me stuff. I'm not actively looking. I've got a day job, right? I've got a day job. People actively send me stuff to react to. So if it just so happens that if a particular person is constantly getting sent to me to react to, that is what it is, right? Like, if y'all would like to see me react to different stuff, well, send me different stuff to react to, because this is not my full-time gig. I don't have like a person on the payroll out there looking for stuff for me to react to. I respond to what my audience asks for. That's all. That's it.
I love it. I love it. You keep being amazing out there, JT. Y'all go follow JT, support JT. Yes, and I hope that you come back on the show, or maybe have me come on the pocket watching with you.
Absolutely.
We kind of say the same thing, but you in financial planning, I just focus on business, accounting, and taxes. So keep doing you and keep up the amazing work and helping the community, JT. Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys. See y'all.